What's up, Nasgo Nation? Hey, this is Eric Tippetts. I just wanted to shoot this quick, hopefully it'll be super quick, follow-up, more in-depth update to our Macau trip. As many of you know, we got invited to Macau, China to be a featured speaker at the World Blockchain Conference. Now, you guys, many companies, do their best at marketing and talking super big about how many people will be attending their event, how many people it'll be broadcasted to. These guys absolutely blew the numbers off what we thought. I thought there would be around 9,000 to 10,000 people. There were over, I think, 11,000 people at the event. Second is it was broadcasted to over 100 million viewers. And I saw the social media girls and I even went into their live broadcast and literally this one girl I got behind, I said, "Ni hao," and started looking at the chat going. She had 600,000 people, 600,000 people on a live broadcast. I didn't even think that, technology that was possible, but that was just one person broadcasting on her social media. And then every time that somebody would speak, she would flip the camera and up on stage, people would be able to see what was going on, what was the presentation about. Now, this event was put on by 3AM Summit. They have, in China, they have 50,000 WeChat groups, and in every group, there's 500 people. So that's 25 million people all in their community, all into blockchain, cryptocurrency, and all from every part of the world. So it was absolutely blew our mind at just how well put together the event was. We were absolutely the talk of the event. Everybody at least at this conference and many others that I've been to, people are still talking up here in blockchain, theory and speculative and how great it's going to be. And we were the first presentation that said, hey, we understand how great it's going to be. Let us now bring it down to the everyday person, small and medium-sized businesses, and how they adopt it, consume it, apply it into their day-to-day business and help them succeed. So I wanted to today, give you an update. The Macau trip went amazing. The media, we're getting interviews every day in the China media. And I told you in the beginning that really China is our market. And so we're getting a huge, huge interest from all the media, from a lot of the VC companies over in China, and now a lot of the big networks pushing Nasgo to their networks. Second is we just got invited to a closed door event May 8th, so in a few days, 160 country leaders all coming into a closed door event in Hong Kong. And we were invited to come in and be the one blockchain invited and looking at providing blockchain for these countries, doing cryptocurrency backed by natural resources. Very poor countries, but very rich in natural resources. And they want to look at how do they tokenize their country, and then how do they provide the backing of their natural resources. And they looked at Nasgo, and especially after this event, just blew them away, and they said Nasgo is the selection. So today I want to walk through a presentation that I did in Macau. I want to show you how we've taken blockchain from up here down to everyday consumption adoption in a mass market. So let me switch over here and share my screen. All right. Let me go into play here. All right, so as I came out on stage, I wanted to come out with something that would just hit people between the eyes. Like everybody's talking like what it can do and the future. I came out and said, guys, I am here to talk about the world's first $1 trillion blockchain internet platform, okay? And there's two things. Number one is I'm going to show you why we believe this. And number two, I'm going to show you how we're going to achieve it. So in my short time here on stage, I'm going to show you why we believe this, how we're going to achieve it. I'm going to reverse engineer it for you. And I'm going to show you by the end of this presentation why Nasgo is clearly head and shoulders above anyone out there. So to ramp up quickly and to say at $1 trillion at such a fast pace, you got to look at, are you taking current infrastructure and what has already been built and building on it, or are you starting over? And for us, we always look at, why would you want to reinvent the wheel? The wheel is good, right? We just want to make it freaking great. And that's what we're going to do. So if you look at the 1990s, it was the era of the PCs. That was when businesses moved on to PCs, jobs were replaced by computers. Then we went into the 2000s. That was the era of the World Wide Web, the domains, where businesses moved from offline local businesses to online. Local addresses moved to domain addresses. Then we went into 2010s, kind of the era we're in right now is where the mobile networks, the 3G, 4G now have matured. You've got the app stores, over 5 billion mobile phones in the world today. We believe the next era is the 2020s, is the era of the blockchain. It's the 21st century enterprises that solve the issue of trust. That's the biggest concern and challenge right now with the internet, is that there's too much fraud. It's too easy to have a great marketing story, nothing, smoke and mirrors, nothing behind it. And so you've got a lot of banks, you've got a lot of VCs, you've got a lot of funding that is hard to access because of the trust issue, of the transparency issue. And is there manipulation going in the accounting? So how do we have no manipulation of data? So we believe the next era that's coming is the blockcom era, the blockchain, then .com. So blockchain built with the World Wide Web. How do we take what's been built and how do we make it better? How do we make it more transparent, more open, more fair of what the internet was really built to be, and be something that connects the world together? So did you know that there were over 332 million domains created in 2017? So right now, think back, 2000 up to today, there's over 1 million domains every day being purchased through GoDaddy, Register.com, all of these, 1 million domains. That means everyone knows they need to be online. They've got to be online. They've got to, that's where the world is happening, where the e-commerce business is all happening. And so for us, we love to see these numbers because that's infrastructure that we can say, hey, how would you like to get your domain that you have right now and also have a block domain? And so we look at take current infrastructure and just make it better. Make it to where the future is blockchain. Let's make it to where something that's happening right now, we transition into the blockchain era. So what do small businesses face right now? So we look at, the meat and potatoes, the core of every economy is small and medium-sized enterprises. These are the, the mom and pops, the entrepreneurs that really go out there and try to make things happen. Well, number one thing that, 82% of small businesses fail because of lack of funding. So business funding, they're underfunded. They can't stay in the game. So that's a major challenge, is the funding part. The second is, if I want funding, I have to build trust, right? And so trust typically today is a credit score. So it's taken us years to build up our credit score. And typically our small business doesn't have a credit score. So they look at our personal finances and what is our credit score personally. So to build trust that, hey, we believe you can do what you're saying, or we believe you're doing what you're doing. And they look at a credit score, which is still just trying to pull things together of what's happened in the past. And so with trying to build trust quickly, we believe that blockchain is the way that you can build trust very quickly with not only your customers, your prospects, funders, any of these, because they can look into your blockchain and see what is your sales, what is your chargebacks, what are customer service issues, what are your successes, what is your marketing. So very quickly they can take a snapshot and say, here's their blockchain credit score. these guys, we see the future of what they're doing. We want to invest. We want to fund this company. So we want to make blockchain availability to the mass market, to the small and medium-sized businesses, that they can now utilize blockchain to go out and simplify building trust. Even if they don't have the big marketing budgets, they've got the blockchain that can build trust with possible funders. All right, so what's our solution? What is Nasgo doing? So, we talked about Nasgo is a blend of 4 things. Number 1 is decentralized hosting, allowing any website to be opened anywhere in the world. So global, free and fair and transparent commerce. Second is building a dApp store, a decentralized app store. So just like a Google or an Apple store, a marketplace that people are coming in and collaborating, communicating, and innovating together. Third is a third-party payment gateway using decentralized payment gateway digital currency. And fourth, on blockchain. So we see Nasgo and the application of Nasgo network as the new decentralized Internet 2.0. So where the World Wide Web was, open and free and fair, now we've got net neutrality, you've got firewalls, you've got all these things that are, governing bodies that are managing and pushing people into their little space. Where we see, let's make it decentralized Internet 2.0 for the mass market. So what we've created is a blockchain toolbox, or we call it a block box. So this consists of 3 things. 1 is blockchain domain. So think of GoDaddy. So when you go into GoDaddy, you buy a domain. So we're talking to GoDaddy right now of every time you buy a domain, you also get a block domain on Nasgo. So that gives you now your blockchain domain. So you also need to get your company website, whatever your website is now, we can now attach it to our server nodes. So just like GoDaddy, where you get hosting at GoDaddy or HostGator or wherever it might be, Amazon AWS, you can now get your hosting right on the Nasgo network and the Nasgo server nodes. Also, we make it very simple to convert your website right into blockchain. So now you've got the transparency, the openness that you're building your credit score, your blockchain credit score. All right, and then third is, how do you take that and tokenize it? So we can literally tokenize any company in less than 5 minutes. You guys, so what we've created here is a toolbox to take blockchain from fluffy to everyday application for a small business. They can get a block domain, they can get their website onto blockchain, and they can tokenize it. And so again, when we talk about lack of funding, because we can do those and tokenize it, now you've got tokenizing to where I can go out to a possible customers, my friends, my marketplace, and we don't need all the big attorneys and all the big accounting firms and agreements. You can actually tokenize and provide those tokens that people can come in and be a part of your business. So very quick access to funding by tokenization. Second is, if your market has tokens, they are a lot more incentivized to care and share you, right? If you have Bitcoin, you're probably going to look at it each day or every other day, whatever. But if you don't own any Bitcoin, do you ever go in and look at it? No. So that's just like tokenizing your brand. Instead of giving a coupon card that, hey, let me punch it, now you tokenize for every customer, for people that share your company, and now they're essentially partners in your business. And when your business does better, the token demand goes up, the token value goes up, they now profit share in that business with you. And we feel like that's really the future of small, medium-sized businesses, is incentivized sharing, is making it to where your community is incentivized to go out there and share and care about building your business with you, because they're partners with you in this business. Second is loyalty, just making it to where people are loyal to you because they now have tokens in their wallet and are wanting to see that demand and the price go up. And so we feel like this toolbox, very simple, small and medium-sized enterprises, is at a price of 700 NSGs or Nasgo tokens, NSGs. Right now, Nasgo tokens at this recording is about 50 cents. That's about $350 USD to create your own business with a domain, with a blockchain, and tokenize it. You guys, that's a game changer. In China and Macau, people were flipping out. The media could not believe that we'd brought blockchain down to that level, that the everyday person can go on and they can do this themselves. Or we're announcing here shortly that we're creating a production studio that if you don't have the skills or you don't want to do it yourself, you can hire this production company. They can, create branding, logo, market. They can do the blockchain domain. They can transfer your current website, update your website, or go over onto blockchain and tokenize your business. So we want to make it to where it's self-serving, that you can do it yourself, or we've got a production studio that can do it for you, and any other marketing or production assets that you need. So we feel like that's a game changer of taking what's NSGs and tokens and how does this all work, and making it very simple to understand what's the demand and what's the monetization strategy of Nasgo. And that's what we feel pretty excited. We're very excited about it and very confident that we're going to make this happen. We're also excited about our infrastructure, because that's a major challenge for blockchain. Right now with, typical POW or POS systems, you look at Bitcoin, the higher the demand, the longer the validation times take. You look at Ethereum, the bigger the infrastructure gets, the more bogged down it gets. And with our main chain and side chain technology, we feel like this is really the future. That our main chain is there for the stability, but all of the side chains, it makes it to where the scalability, but also the validation times never go over 10-second validation times. Every single dApp or decentralized app or website is its own side chain. So that makes it to where in reality, the more websites and more small and medium-sized businesses we get, the more the foundation of Nasgo becomes stronger. It's more computers, it's more server nodes, it's more validation, all built on those side chains that support the main chain. So we feel like instead of, you got these companies that get to a point where validation times and consensus issues, and they start forking, that we feel like we've got something pretty powerful for a long-term strategy and solid platform. All right, so I want to go through our 6-month development plan. Many people are saying, well, what's on the horizon? What are you guys up to? So we want to give you some insight in what we're working on right now. Number one is building a customized sidechain consensus algorithm. So there's still people that love POW, proof of work, POS, proof of stake, consensus platform. Great. We're making it to where any developer, if they love a POW or a POS system on their side chain, they can use that consensus algorithm to provide the support for their side chain. That's what to me was brilliant about our IT, is really looking at customizing every side chain, every website, every company that comes on. They have the ability to customize it completely to what they want. And that's absolutely unique in the marketplace. Number two is integrate blockchain voting and ranking into blockchain dApp store, the Nasgo dApp store. So we wanted to make it to where apps or dApps that are really, making an impact and doing a great job, users can go in and vote, and they can rank them up to showcase them in the dApp store. So it gives the ability for, things really making a mark and doing some major impact for them to rise up above and be showcased in the dApp store, all user driven. The third is a completely self-governed network. So ranking of apps, transaction fees, all of that using a network voting, or our DPOS, our delegate POS. So I won't get into it right now, but with the 101 delegates providing, the server validation power, they are the ones getting the block rewards, but they're also the ones that can do voting to change things, to make it to where in the future, if you find that the NSG goes up to $1,000 or $5,000, you have basically priced out the mass market. You've got to give the ability for some sort of democratic voting, and it's all internal in the delegates, to where you can be flexible and change the transaction fees to a lower transaction fees or whatever it might be, to allow the system to continue long term without forking, without it's stuck. And we're already seeing that. We have Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Wonder, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Kitty, all of this crazy forking that's happening because they get to a point to where people go, you've hit your limit. We now need to fork and go a different direction. So this allows Nasgo to be flexible and be, we feel like, long-term platform. This is a huge one. We're very close. We're just redoing the UI design, but it's an integrated application ecosystem. So we look at inside Nasgo, every company will have the ability to have their own communication app, their own social media, marketplace, and payment system. So the wallet, but our wallet will be able to manage the top 30 cryptocurrencies. So in one wallet, I can have Bitcoin, I can have Litecoin, Ethereum, Monero, whatever. You can have the top 30 and NSGs, and every token that's built on the NSG, all will be in one wallet, all habitated in one wallet. We feel like that's a game changer. And the reason why is because I can't tell you how many people I talk to that have cryptocurrency that I say, well, what are you buying with it? And they go, nothing. We don't know how do you buy? Now you need to go to an exchange and just exchange it out to fiat currency to buy something. Well, in this marketplace, we'll have buyers, sellers, people transacting, all in one ecosystem. That you've got one wallet that handles all of the different currencies, that you've got a social media that you can connect, you've got a communication app that you can text or by voice, connect with each other, you've got video channels that you can create for your small business, and you've got products or services that you can sell, and you've got an ecosystem right within that you can purchase, sell free of fraud or chargebacks, and it's immediate. So I can use Bitcoin instead of it validating tomorrow. Everything happens within 10 seconds. So it's immediate. We feel like this is going to completely explode Nasgo and all the small business transactions, the social media, the communication, collaboration globally, and with products and services all within this marketplace. And then the last is a decentralized block exchange. So like a stock exchange, a block exchange, Nasgo network of tokens, peer-to-peer exchange platform. So every token that's built into Nasgo, we feel like, right now, Binance is $10 million to take your token or your coin onto that exchange, $10 million. And then you've got all the waiting time, all of that. Others are around $2 million. Okay, that prices out the majority of tokens and coins. And so what we want to do is make it to where people, small businesses that have tokens that, I'm not stuck with this token. How do I make it to where I can transact, inside Nasgo in my wallet with other people in this marketplace? And so it allows the transactional freedom and speed to happen without all of the big $10 million to get onto the big exchanges. We wanted to create something that enabled the small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and made it to where people that were tokenized, they're in a place that they can, trade, exchange, sell that token, and and in a very simple, non-threatening, non-risk, not high capital marketplace. And so we feel like that's going to change just the ability for people to come in and utilize their cryptocurrency and their tokens inside this ecosystem. So I mentioned in the beginning, the world's first $1 trillion blockchain internet platform. Those are big words, a big statement. And so I wanted to show you our forecast and show you how we back into meeting and exceeding that. In 2018, we see hitting 10,000 block domains per day. I mentioned there's 1 million domains being purchased every single day. There's billions of domains right now. So already the partners and already the networks that we're connecting up with, we believe we'll hit 10,000 block domains, people purchasing every day, either with a .com or with a World Wide Web domain, and then have their block domain bundled with it. That equals 7 million NSGs per day. Remember, I talked about the blockchain toolbox was 700 NSGs times 10,000 block domains per day. That's 7 million NSGs per day. That's 2.5 billion NSGs per year. That is demand. That's just in block domains. Guys, I want you to understand that's just in block domains. That's not even in processing fees. So all these companies that are coming on that are transacting, there's transaction fees. I don't even have any of those in here. I'm just doing the block domains of purchasing a block domain and block domain, transferring their website over and tokenizing their business for $350 right now, 700 NSGs. All right, 2019, we see 100,000 block domains per day. That's 70 million NSG per day, 25 billion NSG per year demand just in block domains. 2020, this is where we see, blockchain really the tipping point, where it gets major traction. We believe that, companies going public onto the stock exchange, the, NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange, they will be required to be on blockchain. The days of big accounting firms and people cooking the books and all of this big money being spent to go public is all overcome by being on blockchain. And so this is a much more transparent way for people going public onto this exchange to show, the transparency of their company. And so give a lot more trust and confidence to the marketplace. So in 2020, we see doing 1 million block domains per day at 700 million NSGs per day, 252 billion NSGs per year demand, hitting that million block domains per day. And again, we're not starting over. Take what's already happening today, partner up with them and say, hey, if you want to go onto blockchain for this extra cost, this gets you your block domain, your company on blockchain, and tokenizes it, all as they're buying a .com or a .net or whatever. All right. So the future of NSG, we've got 1 billion hard cap NSGs available. We look at, at any time, there's about a 30 to 50% circulation. And especially because the delegates, the reason why they're not going to sell is they're getting 1.7 million NSGs in block rewards alone per year, just by providing server power and in the top 101 delegates. So all of those top 101 delegates, they're not going to want to sell their NSGs because they're getting block rewards and processing fees that they're getting compensated, big time. And so if they sold their NSGs, they sell their voting rights, which most likely they're going to fall out of the top 101 delegates. So 30 to 50% circulation. We look at $252 billion in 2020. The price of NSGs are at about 50 cents. So let's just say 30%. Take that, half it, because 50 cents. So it's 150. So out of a billion, instead of 300 million, let's say it's 150 million. Divide that, 252 billion, that demand, and you take only about 150 million in circulation, that is about I think 1,600, a little over 1,600% or upside that is needed, the price just to go up to meet that demand to allow that kind of transaction or demand of the block domains. So as we looked at this and we looked at what was the monetization and what was the demand model, that's what every company is trying to figure out in blockchain. Instead of just our token, we're just selling tokens. We're not an ICO. That we're not in that game. We are a real company looking at how do we go and provide real products and services to small and medium-sized businesses. How do we get mass market adoption? It's by creating this block box, making it to where they can implement it, but there's only a finite number of NSG tokens. So again, the demand, you start to reverse engineer and look at what's the upside potential. And we believe about 1,000 to 1,600 times upside potential to meet demand of our forecasts. So many of you are owners of NSG tokens. You're in the right place. You got into a company with so many big marketing pitches and hype and everything going on. I want to congratulate you. We are extremely excited about our future, excited about, really taking blockchain down to the mass market and having you guys as a part of it. Again, decentralized, there is no company that owns it. And, I'm an evangelist of Nasgo. We love what we're seeing. Developers are already coming on board, developing dApps, developing APIs to different systems. We've also built a Nasgo communication channel on nasgo.com. You guys go check that out, get into the conversation. We're building and almost finalized this production studio to help companies convert over to blockchain. So the future is bright. Super excited for you guys to be a part of what we're doing. You guys saw the vision in the beginning. Even when people, and I always tell people as an entrepreneur, you're always going to have people that, step on your dreams. And the bigger your dreams get, the more haters come out. They want to step on your dreams. So I congratulate you guys that you stepped over these naysayers and you got into something that was a real business, really saw a true vision. And again, decentralized networks, it isn't about one person, going out there and spreading the word. It's about all of us coming together as a community and about that collaboration, that community of growing and sharing and building this together. So we're excited. If you have any questions, come to us. Definitely connect with us in our social media, comment, share, let us know what you think. And we're excited to connect with you in an upcoming event. See you guys soon.